Hey, Salvador here with Detailers Growth, and today I am sitting down with Patrice of Mujo Auto Spa in Ottawa, Canada. How are you doing?
Good and you?
I'm great. Are you staying warm over there?
Not really. It's pretty cold today.
Yeah, we have some clients over in Texas, and they actually got snowed in. Like the roads are icy in
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, we kind of saw that. That's very odd for Texas, actually.
Yeah,
We're more accustomed to this minus 30 Celsius here.
yes, yes. Okay, awesome. Yeah, you are a recent client of ours. You came on board a little over a week ago.
Yep.
And this interview is, we're going to cover a lot, but the main point in this interview is how quickly you were able to go from 0 to 100 with revenue.
Wow, I would say extremely fast. In a span of 48 hours, 2 days, we were able to book almost close to $11,000 in bookings in a little bit over 48 hours. That's pretty fast. People were looking at our videos, looking at information, filling out the form, and then we call the clients, ask a bunch of questions. People would get hooked and say, "Okay, let's book it, let's do it."
That's insane. So 11 grand in 2 days of the campaign going live.
Yep.
Okay, let's break that down. That's insane. Before we go into the details, can you tell me a little bit about what business was like before coming on board as a client?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a background about Mujo Spa. We started back in 2015, very slowly, and we built our brand up. First year we did 12 cars, and the second year we did about 24, maybe 28. Third year we did close to about 50 cars. And then fourth year we did a little bit over 70. And that's where last year it started to skyrocket. I lost count. We did quite a lot. January, February of last year was pretty dead compared to this year. And if we look at this year, we started our bookings in March of 2022, the 1st of March, and we haven't stopped since. 7 days a week, 9 to 5. We don't stop. I didn't even take any vacation because we're fully booked. It's
Yeah,
been crazy.
that's
So,
insane.
and coming on board with Detailers Growth, we went through a few companies here in Quebec that just didn't pan out. We weren't getting the results that we were looking for. And then we went with a company in the United States. We did pretty good with them, but unfortunately, we had things that we were looking for and our goals weren't there. All of a sudden, I saw your video with Ray from Bob Moses, and I'm like, how does a guy go from $12,000 a month to over 90 grand a month? What the heck? In 9 months? Come on. Okay. So I looked at the interview. I'm like, this sounds interesting. What is Salvador doing different than the other guys are doing? So it took me roughly 2 weeks before I pulled the trigger and I reached out after looking at that video. I'm like, I'll give this guy a chance. Let's go for it. And you know what? I'm not disappointed at all.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So I do want to preface the 11K in 2 days
Yep.
is in the middle of winter
Yep.
in Canada.
Yep. Normally you don't have that. It's dead. Normally wintertime
No,
it's dead. And we're
no.
still rolling. We're fully booked.
Yeah,
We
I remember we had a phone call mid-December where we really just outlined everything. You got to learn about what we do. We broke it down to you. But at that time, I wouldn't say there was hesitation, but there was just waiting for a plan that we had in place to pan out perfectly.
Yep.
A lot of it, I can't say exactly what it entails, but usually when somebody gets on the phone with us, they're like, okay, I'll get back to you guys next week, the week after, and then you don't really hear from them,
Yep.
which is kind of what I thought was the case with you. Like, hey, let's get on a phone call. Okay, you get pricing, you get to know what's going on, and then crickets. But then you actually followed up with us, I would say a couple weeks after, early January. You're like, hey, I'm ready to pull the trigger. We have this plan in place. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger. And then I think that's really, it's not 11K in 2 days, it's 11K within like 30 days. It just worked out perfectly after the campaign went live.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so 11K in 2 days is insane. We're a little bit over 7 days of the campaign being live. What would you say is the added revenue so far in the first week?
First week, I think I'm close to 13, 14, maybe a little bit more than that. I would really have to crunch the numbers. I'm pretty sure I'm close to that number in a span of a
14,
week.
14K in 7 days.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to book $14,000 every week, but if that's the case, then I'll take it.
We still have spring and summer to go into, which I think is going to be insane. How big is your shop in Ottawa?
We're roughly about 1,140 square feet. So we got
Okay.
2 bays. It's not big, but it's just big enough for us to do what we need to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So you reached out mid-December, which is kind of a rough time because you have the holidays. It's probably very slow for you too. But what kept you from working with us sooner? You might have seen that rate video. Did you see it December or was it before December and then you decided to reach out?
No, I think I viewed the video after I had the conversation with you in
Okay.
December. That's where I looked at the video with Ray. And that's where I decided that I needed to pull the trigger at that time. To come back to your question, what has kept us from moving forward? The thing is that our main revenue stream is paint protection film. We do about 3 cars to 4 cars a week. So we work a lot of hours. At one point, I need to had kind of schedule a day off to be able to say, okay, I need to call in and tell them, let's go ahead and pull the trigger because we need to do this. We need to have more revenue stream coming in. So just give you an example, like PPF, we average about 25K a month just in PPF. And hitting winter time, we went from 25 to 15.
Wow.
So what can I do as a business to bridge that gap? That's when I decided to say, okay, let's call Salvador and let's kick it on and let's see if we can actually breach the gap, see if Salvador delivers. Man, have you ever? I'm not bullshitting anybody. I'm sorry for my language, but I'm a no sense guy. When I talk to clients, I tell them I don't sell bullshit. Well, the thing is that your thing was no bullshit. I mean, you delivered hands out. I was even stoked and surprised when I saw people starting to actually book with us with ceramic coating. And I look at the numbers and I'm like, holy mac, we're just 48 hours in and that's much money I'm going to be making. Whoa, what's going on? I think we found our guy for the future.
That's great to hear, man. I think that's going to mean a lot to not only myself, but also our team. We were able to get your campaign built pretty quickly. I think the onboarding process only took about 2 days, 20, 48 hours.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, but so far, I know it's only been a week. What do you like the most about working with us?
Ease of approach. I want to say ease of communication. You're only a text away, send you the info. You come back, hey, sure, sounds like a good idea. Always constructive back, where we pitch out ideas, but it doesn't mean that our ideas are the best. We always leave into the professionals' hands to make the best judgment call on that. Basically, it's the friendly approach, professionalism.
That's great to hear, man. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to us. You were somebody who was on the fence. You hesitated, whether that be from just a timing issue, but there was some hesitation. What would you say to somebody who might be on the fence of working with us?
What to say to them?
Yeah, what would you say to that person? I'll paint the picture. Somebody who has gone to our Facebook page, maybe my profile, they've seen the interviews, they've seen the videos, but they're still on the fence. They're not ready to pull the trigger yet. What would you say to that person?
Don't hesitate. Don't do like we did, wait 3 weeks to almost a month before deciding to do it. If I could do it all over again, I would have done it the same day that we had in December. I would have given you the green light at that time. Don't hesitate to do it. Just do it. Believe me when I tell you, you're not going to regret it.
Yes. And I do want to say the reason we're on the interview is because that's remarkable. 11K in 2 days is insane, which isn't always the case. I think it's just a mixture of the plan panning out perfectly. Even though the campaign went live and then after 2 days, 11K was collected, had that conversation about a month before that campaign went live. And this might look like an overnight success, but it's really just executing a really good plan.
That's the thing. You got it right on the dot. If you don't have a plan in place and you don't execute it well, it doesn't matter how much money you're going to put in, how many leads you're going to get. If you don't pan out, if you don't plan anything out, you're just setting yourself up for failure. There's no means and there's no way that you can't have success with a well-established plan.
That's 100% correct. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that weekend when the campaign went live. You started getting leads. What was it like talking with those leads? I guess what were some objections you overcame? What did that look like?
Good question. Of course, you will get some leads that just don't want to talk to you. They just want to have a quote. Unfortunately, we don't do business with those kind of leads. We have to talk to you. We have to explain to you what the process is before we give a price out. If you're just looking for a quote, sorry, man, but I'm going to tell you, go to Canadian Tire, go buy a ceramic coating off the shelf and do it yourself. You're not bringing value to me. I want to bring value to you. That's why I need to talk to you. I need to explain to you why I'm bringing so much value for what you want. And for us, it's not working on a car. We don't work on cars. We worked on prized possessions. People that buy their vehicles, they spend a lot of money in their vehicles. We treat each car as if it was ours. That hence the name Mujo Auto Spa. They bring their car to an auto spa. So as far as sales objections are concerned, thing is that, oh, I have to talk to my wife. Of course you do. So do I. But what I do is that I tell them, well, I understand you have to talk to your wife, but on a scale from 1 to 10, could you tell me if you would do it anyways, where would she be situated? Would she be a 1? Would she be a 10? Where would she be like, yeah, most likely she'd be like a 7 or 8. Okay. Well, you know what? What can I do today or right now for you to book with me right now? So they're like, oh man, you're good. You're good. You're a pretty
Yes.
good salesman. I said, no, I'm not a sales guy. I'm the owner. I don't know how to sell at all. I just know what to tell you. I said, so if you talk to your wife, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be making that decision. It's not your wife. This is the kicker. I give them an example. You want to spend X amount of money. Okay. I said, so when you go to dinner with your wife, you go to this nice fancy restaurant and you order your nice juicy steak and you're eating it with all the sides and everything. And then at the end of that nice dinner, you have a nice cup of wine, your belly is full. Then you order this nice chocolate cake for dessert. You eat that up, and then you're really on the verge, of bloating. I said, is that where you tell your wife that you spend close to 3 grand on a car to make it nice and beautiful and shiny and protected? So they start laughing on the phone because you just actually hit the sensitive string on there. I want to say that the leads that we close, this is how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go into a little bit more detail because I bet a lot of people have a ton of questions on just your sales process. It doesn't even have to be a formula. Like if you just ask the right questions and you get that out of the customer, that's all you need. You don't have to use any crazy tactics. You don't have to be like a wordsmith. If you just ask the right questions and you're able to justify the quotes to that person, let's say a lead comes in, how are you following up with that lead? Is it text or phone call first?
So when the lead comes in, we text them and say, hey, it's Patrice from Mujo Auto Spa. I will be contacting you shortly. Then I take the phone and I call them up and they answer. I say, hey, it's Patrice from Mujo Auto Spa. You filled the lead form for ceramic coating for your car. And I give them the car. So they say, oh yeah, hey, how are you doing? I say, I'm doing fine. How about you? So my first question to you is, what do you like about the car? They start explaining to me what they like about the car. And I say, okay, what is it that you don't like about the car? It's black. It's a pain in the butt to maintain, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, so what's your primary objective to get a ceramic coating on your car? Then the pain comes out.
And that's what we're looking for.
Exactly. Oh, it's the dust. It's always when you wash it. Yeah, 5 minutes down the road, it's as if you haven't washed it. It's dirty. The paint is not shiny, and so on and so forth. And then that's when I get in. What if I were to tell you that I could cut your wash time in half? And every time you wash and dry it, you have a brand new coat of wax on the car. And on top of that, you're going to be the talk of the town because that black car is going to be the blast, like class looking. And they go, is that what a ceramic coating does? I said, yeah, that's one of the main benefits. Yes. Okay, well, then what's your process? And we start to get into the process of it. The pre-wash, the foam bath, the wash, the rinse, the decontamination, the whole shebang. Then we do our inspection, pictures, paint measurement, taping. So we make sure we don't transfer anything from the polish or paint correction process. What isn't paint correction the same thing as polish? No, it's not. No. These are two different things. Polish is for if you don't have any swirls, it's a brand new car. We don't need to do paint correction, then we'll just skim right through the little bit of a paint polish. Whereas if you have swirls or scratches, then we do paint correction. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm always dumbfounded when people tell me, well, I didn't know that. I'm like, okay. All right. Then we prep the paint and then we install the ceramic coating on it. It takes about 2 to 3 days, 3 days at the most, I want to say, to do ceramic coating in your car. Then we have to keep it for 12 hours and then we give it back to you. And then it's a 7-day curing process. So that's the education part that comes in.
Yeah, so you're asking the right questions and then you're giving the benefits. You're really digging into those pain points that they said when you asked, hey, what don't you like about the car? Okay, I don't like how it gets rolled. Okay, let's explain the paint correction a little bit better because that's like their main pain point. So let's connect those two. So Besides the let me talk with my wife or let's wait until springtime to get the ceramic coating done, what other objections do you run into?
It's out of my budget.
Let's go into
They
that
won't have
one.
the money for it. Oh, I tell them, I understand when I go shopping for things that I can't afford, I always ask my question, do I really need it? And about 95% of the time, the answer is going to be no. But the thing is that you got to ask yourself one question. How long do I want to keep the car for? So they go, well, I want to keep at least for 5 years. I said, okay, so for the next 5 years of not doing this, you're going to be looking at swirls. And the more you wash it in the circular motion, the more swirls you're going to have on your paint. And at one point, you're not going to see that black anymore. You're going to see snowy white effect on the car. Your paint's going to be dull. You're going to hate the car. You won't even want to drive it. At one point, you'll want to trade it in to get a brand new car. I said, guess what? You're in that same wheel all over again. This is Groundhog's Day. You're going to be feeling. So I said, what can I do for you today to get that inside of your budget? So they go, I really want that 3-year coating, but I was more thinking about getting it for the price of the 1 year. I'm like, it's impossible. We can't do that. So I tell them, look, how about this? We'll do the 1-year coating for the price that we gave you. And then next year, come back and see us. And then we'll do the 3-year coating. I want to say that right now, most of the time, that's where they're hooked in the book because they get the 1-year coating.
And we actually talked about creating an entry level package. I won't go into the details on that because I think you're going to get those easy wins right off the bat. But yeah, you just broke it down very easily. Hey, how can we make this affordable for you? How can we restructure this package in a way that we can go ahead and get you booked and you can get that ceramic coating that you're looking for?
The secret behind it is not to give them anything that is going to inherit you losing money in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in business to make money, right? So if you're going to be working on a car that you're going to offer a 3-year coating or a 4-year coating, and you're putting at a price where it should be at least a year coating, then the thing is that you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth working on that car. And your work result will not be up to par than what you're used to. The client's going to see that. So there's a lot of negative impact going there. My suggestion is stick to your guns. If it's out of their budget, bring them to a package which they can afford and not lose that potential lead.
Yeah, and something I do want to mention is that bought tickets to the Close More Coatings event that we're doing in Texas, but it's also going to be online. And there we're going to break down your sales process in even more detail. You're going to be able to get different point of views from what Ray's doing, what Aaron in Indiana's doing, what our top clients are doing, and what's working for them, because there really isn't a magic script that works for all shops. There's so many different variables, but if you're able to see different point of views and know, okay, I can take this piece, apply it to this piece and make my own script or create a sales process that way, that's going to be super useful. I'm very excited to have you there at the event. And I think it's going to be a great learning experience for anybody that comes.
Oh, definitely.
Because marketing is only one piece of the puzzle. A lot of people think marketing and sales, they kind of confuse them as one. It's like paint correction and a coating. People think they're like one, but they're two separate departments. Marketing is here are the leads, here's a consistent flow. Selling side is really where I think the magic happens, where you really those quick wins right under your belt. You know what to do, you know what to say to really get that lead, to see the full picture and justify that quote that you're giving them. So yeah, I'm very excited about that event. It's going to be a great one. Maybe we can have you call in live and we can do like a live Q&A session.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What do you have planned for 2023 for your business?
Oh boy, this is the big plan. We want to move out of our current shop and we want to go at least 3 times the size that we're currently in. We want to move between 3,000 and 3,500 square feet. And not only that is we have a new product that we're talking with a manufacturing company to distribute in our province. So we're in the midst of doing that. I always try to bring in new business, but at the same time, business that we're able to take so that we don't leave anything on the table, meaning that our quality of work, we don't do volume. I don't do volume. I'd rather do quality of work instead of volume. So my goal for 2023 is I'm aiming for the 500,000 revenue. That's where I'm aiming at. I think that with the end of this year, I think we're in a very good position to get the 500,000 in 2023. If we surpass that, you know what? It's gravy. but that's
Yeah,
our goal. I want to be honest. I have those big pictures in my office where I set my goals on a yearly basis and I put them on the wall. So I don't have much of a choice. Every morning and every night that I get out from the shop and I go into the office, I see that picture on that wall. This is my goal. So it's impregnated into my brain. Keeps me moving, keeps me pushing even harder to go and get to obtain that goal.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, keeping it top of mind where you're seeing it every day is perfect. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that.
One thing I know, everybody thinks it's easy to start a business and run a business. It's not. You do a lot of sacrifices. You leave a lot on the table to run a business. People think it's an overnight success. No, it's a lot of sweat and tears, a lot of sacrifices before you start to get success.
Yeah,
I just want a message to the guys in the field. Keep pushing, keep elevating yourselves to your goals, exceed them, then set new ones. Don't stop. Even if you think you're on the verge of quitting because you're not obtaining them, the thing is, if you quit, you're going to regret it. Just keep pushing. You're maybe just an inch away of giving that extra push, and that success just kicks in. So don't neglect anything. Just keep pushing, keep striving, push hard. I know it's hard, but keep pushing. I'm at that point where I'm having a lot of success right now because of all the sacrifices, but I mean, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be a lot happier at that point. You're going to go, man, all those sacrifices that I did, it's finally, you're actually cashing in on those.
that's beautiful, man. I think that's a great place to end the interview. Yeah, continued success. I can't wait to see what 2023 brings to your business, and I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. And I think we got a pretty good partnership.
Awesome, man. I love it. Yeah, thank you for making the time.
Not a problem, Salvador.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.